Welcome. Let me start by saying it's just time to go online. My name is Jeff Coombs. I'm the president of Crunch.io. We've been online since our inception. We are completely remote. We have over 50 employees in 17 different countries. So we run everything online. So we know how to do it. I'm here today with Chris Jones, one of our product directors. He's going to give you a demo of self-service data analysis for insights teams. At Crunch, we provide online self-service survey data analysis. We are Power Made Simple. Again, it's time to go online. You yourself go online when you want dinner, when you want to go to a concert, when you want to have a meeting, when you want to deposit a check, when you want to check a restaurant review and then reserve a table. When you buy just about anything from toilet paper to groceries to even a house. I have friends who bought a house in Seattle where I'm from, and they never even saw it. They did it online. And you do it when you do your expenses. You do this, why? Because it's easy, because it's immediate, it's convenient, and it's actually more powerful. When you're buying something, it's a lot easier to compare reviews online to get data about the thing you're buying than it is to go to a store and ask some clerk who won't be as knowledgeable as all the people on the net. So you do all those other things online. It's now time for you to go online for survey data analytics. We talk to a lot of people here at Crunch who are in the insights business, and we talked recently to a leader in the music technology business, and the quote from her was, "We have data from different sources scattered around the company and no tools to run our own analyses on data collected by our research partners, and no way to visualize the data effectively. Currently, we are doing a large customer segmentation and brand survey, or FIRST, and very soon we will be in need of a dashboard for those findings." Like you, perhaps, they have data scattered all over the place, different kinds of survey data, brand trackers, maybe a multi-client syndicated data like the profiles product from YouGov, maybe a lot of custom one-offs, and also customer experience or customer satisfaction surveys you do yourself with Qualtrics. That data comes from multiple vendors such as Nielsen, Kantar, Ipsos, YouGov, and it comes in many different forms. Your vendors give you spreadsheets, dense PowerPoints, hundreds of PowerPoints for one study, and then if you ask for the data, they give you an SPSS file. The data is pretty much all over the place, among multiple users across many different PCs spread all over the world. And you never know who quite has the final version of something. And it might be in an SAV file called .final or .final1 or 1A or final. And where's data from previous years? Where's the history? Forget about that. That's really difficult. You might be running a tracker for 5 years or 10 years, or we have customers even with 20 years of data, and trying to find that data is very difficult. This is a quote from a financial services firm, think credit cards, and a potential user said, I'm tired of scavenging for spreadsheets and then digging through them. I have to scavenge around hundreds of spreadsheets, find the right one, and then within an individual spreadsheet, there are dozens or scores of tabs with a big long index, and I'm just tired of that. Like you, they have to look at an index like this, and if you see on the lower right, there are 368 lines in this spreadsheet, and it says table 395. So there are 395 tables in this spreadsheet. And then one of them looks like this, trying to find the data, look through tiny little letters to look at significance testing. This is clearly the old way to do it. It's not online self-service. My favorite quote came from actually a large market research company who just came right out and said it. I hate Excel tables. They're a waste of time. They're not friendly at all. I want to bypass tables. I want to get rid of them. Our goal is to avoid Excel and PowerPoint except for presentations. We aren't going to get rid of PowerPoint, but maybe we're going to get rid of a PowerPoint presentation with 150 slides with all the data. PowerPoint is once you found the insights and you wanted to deliver it as an insights professional to the head of marketing or to a product person or a brand manager, and it's only 10 slides, those slides are perfectly formatted with your company's colors and logo. They have the data in a very impactful chart, and they've got a few lines that say what the insight is, and they're ready to go into another presentation with some other things right to the executive suite. That's what PowerPoint is for. You need another way than PowerPoint and Excel with tons of data to analyze the data, like this executive at a large market research firm thinks. So why haven't you gone online already for analytics? Well, we hear a lot, my market research vendors don't offer it. They get the data in Excel and in PowerPoint. Or if they do it online, it's a custom dashboard or a custom portal solution that isn't easily tailored. It's built by programmers and that's hard to change. And if you've got multiple market research vendors, you have multiple portals. And so it's still hard to find where your data is. Is it on the portal? Is it in the spreadsheet? Is it in an SPSS file? Is it in a big PowerPoint? So the market research vendors aren't yet delivering everything in an online tool that's easy to use. And in fact, that's one of the reasons you haven't gone online already. The tools are just too hard to use. The first thing is the data transfer. How does the data get into a custom portal that somebody built? It takes a long time. They aren't necessarily tied to your fielding software. Someone has to clean the data, transform it. You get out of field and there's still a lag until when you get to see the data online. And then performing that analytics, those analytics is just too difficult. If you need a dashboard built, it's built by a programmer. They need to take 3 weeks or 4 weeks to build it. And then once you get it, you might want to change it. It takes a long time to change. And it's an expert that's building that dashboard or editing that portal. So it's too hard to get the data in, too slow to get the data into the online system. And then using it just isn't intuitive. The tools to date have been hard to use. What people want is a tool that's as easy as a business intelligence tool for financial data, Tableau or Business Objects, Cognos, those Click, those kinds of companies, those kinds of tools. But those tools don't deal with survey data. They're easy to use like you want. They're not hard, but they don't deal with missingness. They don't deal with multiple response variables. They don't know how to do statistical testing. There's a number of different things that are unique to survey data analysis that a brand or a generic business intelligence tool can't handle. So why now? Why am I now saying it's time to go online? Well, the analytics have gotten a lot easier. You'll see from the demo that Chris is about to do. Drag and drop analytics, very intuitive, very easy, very little training needed, an hour at most. And you're just working on your data, no programming. Also, the data transfer is quick now, and it's offered with white glove service right from your own self-serve fielding tool or from your vendor serving tool into the online analytic tool. That's because there's now direct integration with the likes of Decipher or Confirmit or Qualtrics. And also, you can automate all that. There are tools that you can use so that when you've got a new wave of a tracker, it can not only be up and running the day that wave is completed, but actually after 100 completes or halfway through, so you can begin your analysis, begin building your presentation and finding insights before you're out of field. And then the day you're out of field, you complete the analysis and you can get that information, those insights, that data to your stakeholders, whether they be in marketing or the product team or whomever. So online self-service survey data analysis is much easier, drag and drop to do the analytics, and much easier and quicker now to get the data into the tools. And so how does it work? It's pretty simple. Chris will show you on the left here, interactive analysis, the drag and drop, pulling a well-worded variable that looks like the information in your survey onto a palette to create a crosstab, a click to do a graph, a button to do some stats testing. He'll show you all that. And when he finds some good analysis, some insight, he's going to save it to a deck. And from that deck, he's going to show you that you can very quickly build or edit a dashboard, or you can deliver those key findings in a PowerPoint slide that's fully editable and can be in a template that looks like your company. Or if you want, and you still like Excel, you can export it to Excel. Why now? You want to get on the trend. Crunch has grown to over 60,000 users. And in fact, we've added 20,000 users in the past year. It's so easy to use. You can deliver your Crunch, the data in Crunch, to many different users and not worry they won't know how to use it. So let's see it in action. Chris, take it away. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Although most of the tour today is going to focus on what you can do to analyze your data, I'm going to start the tour outside of any dataset to show you how Crunch makes your life so much easier with its centralized, cloud-based approach, giving you the ability to self-service and slice and dice your data anytime. By uploading your data to Crunch, you can easily access your data from anywhere in the world, simultaneously with your whole team and unlimited stakeholders, 24/7. No more emailing files back and forth. Research for multiple surveys from multiple vendors lives together in a browsable folder structure of your choosing. And even better, it's all searchable in one place. Extend the useful life of your research projects by enabling your colleagues to find past insights using intuitive keyword searches. Simply enter a word or phrase into the search field from any part of a survey, so it could be something as high level as the name of the dataset, all the way to something as low level as a word used in the full question text of a variable, and see the results from across all surveys. Alternatively, you can narrow down your results using date ranges or other criteria. And once you've found the question you want to view, simply clicking on the search result will jump you not just to the containing dataset, but to that variable in particular. Having all your research searchable and in one place is such a breath of fresh air compared to having multiple locations dictated by the workflows of different research providers. Sometimes it's an email attachment, sometimes it's a portal for downloading files, sometimes it's an online platform, but it's only for the research you buy from that vendor, which means you can't get these advantages. The efficiencies of organization continue once you're in a dataset with the variable organizer shown on the left here. Crunch helps you organize your survey variables into this neat and tidy structure, which groups demographics, screener questions, brand image questions, etc. into clear folders that make it so much easier to navigate, especially for large datasets, which is something of a Crunch speciality actually, but let's save that for a different webinar. Now, as part of our product design here at Crunch, we talk to a lot of insight teams and managers about their pains and difficulties, and a recurring theme is having to continue to be dependent on the research provider for new cuts of the data. Picture this. You've had your tables delivered by your research supplier, and you've pored over them and created a report of key findings for your CMO. You did a good job, and the report was well received, but, as usual, you received some additional queries. The CMO wants to see one of your key findings split by current customers versus non-customers, and that was never part of the original table spec, so you don't have it. So you have to send an email to your vendor, hoping they can drop what they are doing and try to produce you this new cut of the data in a project they have moved on from, and return it to you in Excel format probably. With the CMO requesting it, you're in a big hurry, but your research vendor isn't going to share your sense of urgency. So you need to ask for it like it's a special favour, or maybe they charge for extra breaks. A 3-day turnaround is probably the best you can hope for. But what about the next time you need another cut to answer the next inevitable question that comes up? You'll have to go back to your vendor again. No wonder we consistently hear about it as a pain point. Now let's start the story again, but this time we'll look at what happens when you have crunch. The data was delivered from your vendor as a respondent level file, or even available directly via Crunch using one of our common survey platform integrations. Either way, once in Crunch, you are in control. Create any tables, graphs, exports and dashboards at any time without ever needing to ask for assistance from anyone. Crunch is incredibly easy to use with its drag and drop interface. When the request for a new cut of the data arrives from your CMO, get the answers you need yourself within a few minutes rather than a few days. Let's take a look at what you'd actually do to create this new analysis for your CMO. Suppose that one of the key findings of your report was the difference between old world and new world media when it comes to ad recall. You had demonstrated that ad recall was actually much stronger from old world media than from new world media, despite the same number of impressions. And you'd created these neat subtotals here to summarize the comparison. But your CMO wants to know if that difference is true of both current customers and non-customers. Customer versus non-customer was never asked as a standalone question in the survey, but we can create it as a derived variable, like this. Here I'm adding in the variable I want to work with and choosing our brand. I'll give it a name, and then I click to Save as a Variable. And that's going to create my own custom variable with that definition, as you can see here. I can now use simple drag and drop to create a crosstab of Add Recall by this new variable for the customer split. As you can see, the lead of old world media over new world media is just as strong for current customers, and if we turn on this hypothesis testing feature, we can see that ad recall among current customers is statistically significantly higher across all media channels other than online. I could export this table to Excel and send that to my CMO, but I've got lots of other options, including different graph types, and then export to fully editable PowerPoint, or even adding this to a dashboard. In fact, I have a dashboard already created, and adding this new analysis to it is as simple as just clicking Save up here. I've added it to my deck of interesting findings, and I can export this deck to Excel or PowerPoint in a couple of clicks. Compare this version of the story to the first one, where you were still dependent on your research provider. You'd probably still be writing the pleading email, whereas with Crunch, you already have your analysis exported to an Excel table or a PowerPoint graph ready to send to your CMO. She's already going to be amazed at how quickly you were able to deliver the answers. But how about we take things one step further and really impress her? Instead of delivering via Excel or PowerPoint, how about we deliver via an interactive dashboard? I already have a dashboard for this dataset, and since this deck is already the source of my dashboard, I can just click on View Dashboard here, and we can see that this new analysis has been added as a new tile at the bottom of my existing dashboard. That's all it takes to add a new analysis to a dashboard. Just save it to the deck. Now, obviously, I might want to do some more things from here. I might want to choose to only show the subtotals rather than all the categories. I might want to make this tile a bit larger or smaller. And I'm going to want to move it to the tab called Media Consumption. For most dashboarding products, these kinds of changes are complex, time-consuming, and require at least some degree of code or scripting. Crunch is different, really different. In this Categories tab, I can choose to just see those subtotals, and maybe I'll give them different names to make it even clearer. That's better. But I think it would look nicer, a bit wider and a bit less tall, so I'm just going to drag this resizing corner to the dimensions I want. And finally, I want it to live on the Media Consumption tab. So let's choose that tab from this list, and now here it is. But let's put it first, so I just drag it to the position I want, and as you can see, The other one just hops out of the way to facilitate that move, and then I drag the first one into position, and I'm done. And one final finishing touch. How about I add that new custom variable I created, the customer versus non-customer split, as a new dashboard filter variable, so that the CMO can apply it as a filter for herself for any of the other analyses on this dashboard, without needing to come back to me for any of those either. So now, not only am I doing my own self-service analysis without needing my research supplier, but I'm also enabling and empowering my colleagues, even those who aren't as technical, to be able to easily and quickly investigate the data themselves without needing any training or specialist skills. Now, if you're not already doing self-service analysis, it might be because you have been concerned that two things are going to be difficult. One of those is the analysis itself, and hopefully this demonstration has shown that with the right analysis platform, it really doesn't have to be difficult at all. But the other concern is usually about getting the data into the analysis platform in the first place. So let's address that too. In this demo so far, we've been working with what we call a neat and tidy dataset, one where the data hasn't just been loaded into the system, but has also been nicely organized into meaningful folders with all the right labels, etc. How does that happen? Well, you don't need to know if you don't want to, because Crunch can do all that for you. Our professional services team offers a white glove service that means that your datasets are already in this neat and tidy state before they reach you, making your analysis life a breeze. But if you like to get hands-on with your data and prefer to do these things yourself, Crunch makes it simple with a variety of workflows designed to suit the way you like to operate. If you or your research provider use one of the common survey platforms, Crunch has a direct API connection, meaning that you don't even need to import the data at all. Simply choose the dataset you want to work with whilst it's still within the survey platform, and everything will import straight into Crunch. And if you use a survey platform we don't currently offer, talk to us about building you a custom importer that will dovetail into your workflow. Outside of these importer solutions, Crunch supports uploads of a variety of data file formats, including SPSS, SSS, and CSV, so even the most bespoke in-house solution can be accommodated. Once your data is in Crunch, you're able to quickly and simply organize variables into folders, clean labels, and create weights, all within the drag-and-drop environment of the Crunch application. Or, if you're comfortable with writing some simple scripts, then our bespoke data processing language, Crunch Automation, allows you to steam through repetitive tasks in seconds. It's been created specifically for the needs of working with survey data, so it's a very lean solution, consisting of only the commands you actually need for creating neat and tidy datasets. That makes it easy to learn and far less technical than other solutions. In fact, that's a bit of a recurring theme with Crunch. It's easy, even for those without technical backgrounds. And that all adds up to a solution that's just perfect for self-service. And now, back to Jeff.
All right, thank you, Chris. Chris was coming to us from London, if you couldn't tell from the accent. Let's take a look now at how some insights teams are doing online self-service analysis today. We will start with a unicorn in Southeast Asia, Gojek. They do help people get around, but mostly they're a technology company and they do lots of surveys. They have their own in-house databases with hundreds of thousands of people on their panel or more. And they have a variety of trackers, ad hoc studies. They do their own customer satisfaction surveys all the time. They both do in-house research and have multiple market research vendors. So their goal with online analytics is to get everything in one place. And they have lots of people in their insights team working with Crunch. And I will say that, as you might expect, technology companies are big users of Crunch and self-service survey data analysis. We even have one very large technology company that has almost 1,000 users. And so the use of online survey analytics is not just by the insights teams, but much more broadly by product managers and other types of marketing managers, business line managers. Another user of Crunch is a big global financial services company. We went in and we did a 3 to 4 months review with them after they started using Crunch. And we asked them, well, what's your division of labor? What's your workflow now? How much do you use Excel versus Crunch? And they said, we no longer use Excel. It's just gone. We create our own data cuts and find insights. And they're very happy about that. So the only time they use Excel today is for the surveys they haven't put into Crunch yet. So this is all about self-service. And a third one is by a big entertainment company who was, as you can imagine, affected by COVID. They had to do some quick surveys to find out what's going to happen to our business. Are we going to survive? Are people ever going to go to movies or go to theme parks? And are they ever going to do that again? So they did a very large scale tracking survey. They wanted to turn it around very quickly. They went to 10,000 respondents in a lot of countries. And the insights department within this company did the analysis themselves. Within a week of getting the data out of the field, they were able to get the information to their executives who could do a press conference related to their financial statements, their quarterly financial statements, and show people that, yes, indeed, there will be light at the end of COVID for this company. So the theme here for them, and the reason they're using self-service analysis, is so that they can have really quick turnaround. So we've seen ease of use, fast turnaround, and white glove service. The financial services company, by the way, one of the things they expressed to us is they want complete hands-off, get the data into the system, onto the platform without us having to do anything, so that they can focus on the fun, valuable part of their job, finding insights. So thank you for watching. It's just time to go online. I know that there have been several questions that have come in. Please continue to ask those questions. We don't have time to answer them all right now, but we promise we will get back to you and get the personal answers back to you. So thank you very much for learning about online self-service survey data analysis. It's just time to go online. Thank you.